by that root. So for part A, I'm going to multiply top and bottom of my fraction by root 5. When timesing fractions, I just times the tops and times the bottoms. So 10 times root 5 is simply 10 root 5. And the bottom, we should know that root 5 multiplied by itself is simply 5. Simplifying our fraction, here we can see 10 over 5. Well, 10 divided by 5 is 2. Hence, my final answer is going to be 2 root 5. For part B, again, as I only have one term on the bottom, to rationalise, I just multiply the top and the bottom of my fraction by the root. In this case, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by root 3. When timesing fractions, I just multiply the tops and the bottom separately. On the top, 15 multiplied by root 3 is going to be 15 lots of root 3. On the bottom, when timesing surds, if there's no number outside a root, we know the number is 1. We multiply the numbers outside and numbers inside separately. Numbers on the outside are 2 times 1, which will give us 2. And we should recognise that when multiplying a root by itself, root 3 times root 3 is simply 3. And then we know that 2 times 3 on the bottom therefore gives us 6. And on the top, I still have 15 lots of root 3. Simplify my answer. I know 15 over 6, I can divide top and bottom by 3. Well, 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. So I've got 5 lots of root 3 on the top. And the bottom 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. For part C, if I'm rationalising and I've got 2 terms in the bottom, I always place that inside single brackets and I multiply the top and the bottom by the same 2 terms as the bottom, but I must change the sign. Hence, in this case, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3 minus root 2. Leaving the top alone for now, I'm going to leave that as 14 and in brackets 3 minus root 2. Expanding my double brackets on the bottom, I know that 3 multiplied by 3 will give us 9. I know that positive 3 multiplied by negative root 2 will give us negative 3 lots of root 2. I know multiply my inside terms. I know positive root 2 times by 3 will give us plus 3 root 2. I know that 3 root 2 take away 3 root 2 will cancel. So I know the two middle terms will cancel. And multiply my last term in each bracket together. I know positive root 2 multiplied by negative root 2 will simply give us negative 2. As a positive times negative is simply negative, and a root times itself is just a number. Leaving the top alone for now, I've still got 14 and in brackets 3 minus root 2. Simplifying the bottom, the denominator, I know 9 subtract 2 gives us 7. Simplifying my fraction, I can see that 14 divided by 7 gives us 2. So I've got 2 lots and in single brackets 3 minus root 2 as my final answer. Or I could expand my single bracket. Whatever's outside, I multiply by each term directly inside. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. And 2 times negative root 2 will give us negative 2 root 2. For part D, again, as I've got 2 terms at the bottom, I place that into single brackets. And I always multiply the top and the bottom of my fraction by the same 2 terms at the bottom, but I must change the sign. Hence, in this case, I'm going to times top and bottom by root 5 plus root 2. Once more, leaving the numerator, I have the top alone for now. I've got 6 and in brackets root 5 plus root 2. And expanding my double brackets on the bottom of my fraction. My first term in each bracket, I know that root 5 times root 5, a root times itself is just a number. So root 5 times root 5 is simply 5. Multiply my outside terms together. Here I have root 5 multiplied by root 2, which will give us positive root 10. Multiply my inside terms together. Here I have negative root 2 multiplied by positive root 5, which will give us negative root 10. And finally, my last term in each bracket, here I have negative root 2 multiplied by positive root 2, which will simply give us negative 2, because a negative times a positive is negative, and a root times itself is just a number. On the bottom, I know my two middle terms will cancel, as positive root 10 subtract root 10 will give me 0, and therefore I'm just left with 5 take away 2, which is 3. On the numerator, I still have 6, and in single brackets, root 5 plus root 2. Finally, simplify my fraction. I know that 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. So I've got 2 lots, and in single bracket, root 5 plus root 2 as my final answer. Or I could expand out my single bracket. Whatever's outside, I multiply by each term directly inside. So 2 times root 5 will give us 2 lots of root 5. And 2 times root 2 will give us plus 2 root 2.